Hello, current juniors. The purpose of this video is to prepare you for registering for classes for your senior year. Hoo-wee, senior year. I remember my senior year back in the day. So you need some things. You should have a packet in front of you. Your packet should include a course catalog, your transcript, a course request worksheet, and any department flyers with information on classes from the departments. You should also know that the online course registration stuff is open now. It is open. You can go on it and register for classes now. Your course requests must be submitted by the deadline, which is April 10th. And so just checking on how many credits should you have. By the end of your junior year, you should have 180 credits. You need 240 credits to graduate. If you take that and divide it up by 4 years, then that's 60 credits per year. Junior year is the third year, so you should have 180 credits by the end of that year. If you have at least 180 credits, then you are on track to graduate. If you have less than 180 credits, then you should be concerned about credit deficiency and have spoken to, say, your counselor about how you're going to make up those credits. There are some options to make up credits for required courses. You could engage in distance learning, like through BYU Online or National University. You could take academic prep during the year. It takes away a class or an elective, but it does allow you to make up stuff during the year. Or you, I think the preferred option, take summer school and get those taken care of. In addition to 240 credits being required overall, you do need to have credits in certain places. And so you need, for example, 3.5 years worth of social studies classes. You need 4 years of English classes. You need 2 years of math and to at least get through Algebra 1, although it's worth saying that if your goal is to be a 4-year college eligible, then you're going to need definitely more than just 2 years. You need 80 credits worth of elective courses. You need electives, by the way, basically anything that doesn't fall into one of these categories. You need 2 years of a science. At least, again, 4-year eligible would need more. You need, for language, you need 30 credits in at least 2 of the combined categories of world language, visual and performing arts, or career technical education. And you need 2 years worth of PE classes and at least 1 trimester of health, which hopefully you took care of freshman year or shortly thereafter. But if not, then next year is definitely when you need to get that finished. So let's take a look at what you need in specific areas. In social studies, for your senior year, most of you are going to take civics and econ. But some of you are going to take like AP US Gov, and then an econ class connected with that, or IB, the International Baccalaureate Program History of the Americas class, which would then be connected to an econ class as well. For English, you're going to take 2 trimesters worth of English. You have English 12A and English 12B, mythology, fantasy sci-fi, satire, short story, Shakespeare. Those are all elective courses. Any combination of any of those courses would satisfy the senior English requirement. Or you could take AP English Language and Composition. You could take AP English Lit, AP English Literature and Composition, and IB Lang Lit. See course catalog for descriptions on what the difference between those things, the differences are. You also on the screen will need to indicate your English proficiency. So if you earned a C- or better in your most recent English course, then choose proficient. If you have not had at least a C-, then you're going to need to enroll in English Workshop. Now note, this isn't what enrolls you in Workshop. Ultimately, whether you are placed in English Workshop will be determined by the English Department's Literacy Proficiency Index. However, selecting it now helps you know that it's going to be included so that you can count it when you're doing things like counting electives. For math, the GHS grad requirement is that you need to have at least 20 credits and finish Algebra 1. But if you're going for college, then you need at least 3 years, and 4 is recommended. Certainly, Granada recommends that students take math every year. So which math class should you take next? Talk to your current math teacher and review the catalog for your choices. Seniors are going to take a wide variety of different classes, all the way from some version of algebra up into stats or calculus or whatever. So talk to your math teacher about what would be the best senior year selection for you for math. For science, two different science requirements here. You need at least 1 year of life science. Here is a list of the classes that fulfill the life science requirement. Most of you will fill or have filled that with passing biology. You also need 1 year of physical science. Most of you are probably going to fill this through passing chemistry, though many of you are also passing it through conceptual physics, although any of the other classes on this list, such as physics or astronomy, would also be physical science classes. For world language, again, we have the rule where you need at least 30 credits in at least 2 of the following categories: world language, career technical education, and visual and performing arts. Those could be split up between the 2 or 3 in any, like it could be 15 and 15, or 10, 10, and 10, or 25 and 5. Any of those would be fine as long as you earn 3 credits in at least 2 of those areas. So for world language, and for college, if you're looking to be 4-year eligible, then you're going to need for world language 2 years of the same language. Our languages that we offer here are Spanish, Spanish for native speakers, American Sign Language, and French. For visual and performing arts, you do have a college requirement of 1 year of the same VPA class, so that would include things like drama or art or video production or digital photo. Review your course catalog for choices in the VPA program. And then for career technical education, you have courses like robotics, machine tool, auto, principles of engineering, machine tool, many choices there. Review your course catalog for options. For PE, students who have not passed the FitnessGram will be enrolled in PE for 2 trimesters. If you have and you've already fulfilled all of your PE requirements, then there are some PE electives available to you. Aerobics, advanced sports, human performance would all be available to you. By the way, for sports, GHS coaches strongly recommend that students playing a school sport enroll in human performance at least the trimester before the sport takes place. There's a picture of John Wooden. Hi, John. Again, electives, any academic class over and above any of these areas is used as elective credit. Hopefully your senior year schedule is very free so that you can, or at least free enough, so that you can explore electives that maybe you haven't been able to get to in the previous 3 years. So electives available in each of these categories. Also want to take a moment to discuss the International Baccalaureate Program. IB diploma students, those of you who are going for the full IB diploma, take 6 subject courses plus Theory of Knowledge course, Extended Essay, and the CAS project, Creativity, Activity, and Service. IB is recognized worldwide as a high-level university preparation program. If you are going for the IB diploma, then you have already spoken to your counselor and are already hopefully know and are on track to do this. Here's the IB learner profile, a list of qualities that not just IB classes, but all of Granada strives to be. Here's a kind of a map of what the IB program looks like and what the classes are that we offer within the various required areas. Again, if you are going for the full IB diploma, then you should already have a plan mapped out. Here are your options. You could go for the full diploma, which you probably started this year or you would have if you're doing it. You could take just several classes, not all of them, not all the necessary ones, and receive certificates for each one completed. You could also just take one IB class. IB courses are taken during junior and senior years. There are 2 types of class, standard level and then higher level, which tend to be a little bit more rigorous and a little bit faster paced. So if you are in the midst of the IB diploma program, when you're in the course registration screen, make sure that you choose IB DP if you are taking the courses that will earn you an International Baccalaureate diploma. And all candidates should make sure to meet with Mr. Caribou to make sure that you're all set up for what you need to do to earn that. If you're not going for the full diploma, if you're taking just a few classes, IB classes or no IB classes, then you're going to select no choices for that. You do also, of course, have ROP classes available for you. These have an occupational career focus rather than an academic focus. There's a list of possibilities there, and in your catalog, of course, some of these require that you travel to other campuses, but they give you really great hands-on experience and practical experience in a a technical area. Again, just discussion of credit recovery. If you need to recover credits for a class that you took and failed, then see your counselor about academic prep or summer school. Academic prep allows you to redo courses online in the same way as summer school. And your senior year is obviously college will be on everybody's mind. Here's a kind of list of dates to know. Just when applications are due, when you need to be looking for filling out financial aid, deadlines for that, when offers will arrive. Your eligibility for colleges will be determined by your GPA, test scores on the SAT or ACT, whether you've completed A through G courses of study, extracurricular community service. Eligibility for the military will depend on coursework and the ASVAB. If you need guidance in any of these, please make sure to see your counselor. Some tests that many of you have already kind of started on in your junior year and probably will continue into your senior year: the SATs, the ACTs, the SAT subject tests, the ASVAB, and on and on. So in gearing up for college, just make sure to register for at least 4 academic courses for your senior year. Visit college campuses in person or virtually online. Make an informed selection of where you'll go after high school. And we will have a senior parent night in the fall for information on college applications. That will be information both for local options like Las Positas or 4-year options. Also under the category of electives, there are some non-departmental electives like office aid, library aid, special ed aid, high school tutor, TA. You're only going to be able to select a teacher assistant as a 12th course or more. Okay, so we're almost ready. What you'll need in order to register online is your course catalog, your 4-year plan or course request worksheet, your student ID number. You need access to the internet, and you need about 20 minutes. Once you start this, you have to go do it all the way to the end. It's not going to save your progress. If you get all the way to the end and submit, you can go back later and alter it. But once you start it, you do have to finish it. So now I'm going to take a few brief moments to show you exactly how to register online. Here I am at Google. I'm going to go to granadahigh.com. Here's our beautiful school website. Under Student Life, I'm going to go down to online course registration. There's a bunch of stuff on here. It'll be helpful for you. This presentation itself will eventually be up on here. You can listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Other things like handouts, course catalog, stuff like that. But for now, the big thing that you need to have is this big PowerSchool parent-student login in front of you. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to the sign-in page for online course registration. So your username is your student ID. Your student ID number is your username. And your password is going to be your birthday with zeros as leading numbers. So in other words, if you were born in January, then the number for that is going to be 01. So I'm going to use the date March 23rd, 2005. That would be 03232005. Because of the leading zeros, all passwords should be 8 digits long. All right, and now at the screen on the left-hand side, I'm going to go to class registration. And the wheel is spinning. Okay, and this is the class registration screen. And so here on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, you see all the different areas that you need to sign up in. And on the right-hand side, you see these little pencils with the red exclamation marks next to them, all the way down the screen. And our goal is to make all of these red exclamation marks look like green check marks. I like to start at the top. So I'm going to go to social science. And for my senior year, I'm going to select civics and econ. When I've selected that, you can see down here, once I've done what it needs to do, this little red exclamation mark becomes a check mark. And that means I'm okay. I select okay, and that red exclamation point becomes a green check mark. On to English. I'm going to select some English electives. I'm going to take mythology and Shakespeare and select okay. Because of the elective system senior year, it's possible that you do not get your first choice in English. So you do need to select between 3 to 4 alternates. So I'm going to go ahead and select short story, satire, and English 12A. In my last English class, I got a B, so I'm proficient. I'm going to select OK. For math, let's see, last year I finished Algebra 2 my junior year. And so my senior year, I've talked to my math teacher, and I have decided that I'm going to go on and take statistics. Select OK. For science, last year I completed chemistry, and so for this year I'm going to take a class that just sort of what seems like maybe I don't know where it is, like a fun class. I'm going to go ahead and take marine bio, a rigorous but fun science class. Okay, so now we've done what are kind of the core departments, and so before I go on to electives, I want to just take a second and go back and count my classes just to kind of see where I am. So count everything that would have 5 credits, not counting the alternates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, don't count the alternates, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I know I still have some room to work with. For world language, I completed my 2 years of the study of French last year, so I'm all done. I'm going to go here and I'm going to select no choices. If I'm not selecting anything in an area, I don't just leave it blank. I have to go in and select no choices. For visual and performing arts, I may have finished my work by taking, I don't know, video production, but this year I'm going to, just because I want to take it because I have freedom and room my senior year, I'm going to go ahead and take animation 1. And I also want to take a class that I just kind of want to take in the CTE program. So I'm going to take Intro to Business. Lots of great choices in the ROP program, but it doesn't really work with my schedule this year, so I'm going to select no choices. In PE, I'm going to play a sport in the spring. I'm going to run track, so I'm going to go ahead and take human performance in the winter to prepare for that. And I have some room to maybe do a social science elective my senior year. So I'm going to choose, let's say, women in American history. Let's go back and just see how many classes I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm at my 12 now, right? So I have hit a kind of a general minimum number. But I have 3 to play with if I want to. So I'm going to say no English electives or any other electives. I am interested in being a special ed aide. So now I'm at 13 classes. So now right here, I finished. I'm going to count up my classes just to make sure that everything is fine. Again, going back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't count electives. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's my 13 classes. Notice that as for senior year, you cannot have less than 10 and you cannot have more than 15. Now, because I'm going to have 2 open periods, I need to select my preference for where those will be. Notice that I said the word preference. This doesn't promise you this particular period because you know, that animation class might be in the time that might only be offered in the time that I want my period off. And so, but it does just indicate for the system what the preference is. So I'm going to say that I want no period 5 in the spring and no period 5 in the winter. And now alternates, you're going to choose 3 alternates, okay? Don't just blow through alternates. Actually take the time. There's a very, very, very good chance that you are going to have an alternate chosen because, you know, there's a good chance that that animation class runs into another class that I wanted to take and it's the only time, and so it's going to go to my alternate list and choose something. So please take the time to go through and actually consider what the alternates are that you might want. I'm going to say Art 1 and Art 2 would be pretty cool, and let's see, I can't do an A, and I'm only picking 3. I can't do an A and a B class, so I'm going to go with Ceramics 1. Select OK. Okay, so now notice on the right-hand side, from top to bottom, I have all of these great green arrows there is. I don't know why this is hard to check, but you do need parent approval. Make sure that your parents look through and know what you're planning for your senior year and that it works out for you and the goals of your family. Once that's done, go ahead and select OK. So I have all these green check marks now, no red exclamation points. I'm requesting 65 credit hours, which is between 50 and 75. So I'm now free to go ahead and hit submit, which I'm going to do. Once the sideways barbell pull is done, then I get taken back to this, and this is the screen that tells me I have registered for classes before the deadline of April 10th, and my job is done. So now back here, make sure to visit the online course registration page on the GHS website to watch this tutorial over and over again if you have questions or need help falling asleep at night. If you still have questions or need assistance, then you go to the course line, the online course registration page for documents there to help. Also, counselors will be meeting with each one of you individually by the end of the year to go over your course choices and make sure you have everything you need. Any necessary changes to your selections can be made there. Select courses wisely. Take time to look through the catalog, complete your 4-year plan, make sure everything is all set up for college or for whatever your post-high school goals are. Do you have at least the minimum amount of courses? Do you have elective classes? If you need help, follow the tutorial online. A couple important notes here. Your course selection choices are yours. We build our school schedule off of your requests. So when you guys decide to change requests later, we can't do that because your schedule is based off of it's built around that. So it's really likely that a different set of requests is not going to fit the schedule in the way that you want. And please take time to choose correct alternates. Any alternate chosen may be filled in your schedule if there are difficulties getting your main choices, which there probably will be, so select accordingly. And make sure that you choose both parts of A and B courses. You may not drop portion B of a course. One last remember, select your courses carefully and conscientiously. The schedule you get in August will be according to what you select now. Therefore, outside of an error on our part, schedule changes will not be needed or allowed. You can follow us on social media for reminders and all general info related to GHS. Check out our social media feeds. Enjoy your senior year and enjoy looking forward to course registration and imagining what senior year is going to be like. Go Mats!